Hello, and welcome to episode 118 of the InGeneral podcast, the Jurassic Outpost podcast. My name is Caleb. I'm joined by Samantha. What's up, Samantha?
Hello, hello.
I'm also joined by Jack. What's up, Jack?
What's up, man? What's up?
And Assis is also here. What's up, Assis?
Can I just say, when my mic's on mute and like you're introing everyone, it's like Russian roulette. It's like, am I next? My heart is pounding.
I had a hesitation there. I was like, oh no, it's gonna be me. It's gonna be me.
I'm glad. Yeah,
Who's gonna be called on?
It's a game each time. You never know it's you.
I try to mix it up every time, you know? Gotta keep you on your toes. Yeah, welcome back to the Jurassic Outpost podcast. There is a new Jurassic World movie on the horizon, and there is a lot of news.
When? Where?
And there are a lot of news and rumors coming out about it, which is why we are here to talk. So,
can we just jump straight into like?
Absolutely.
I can't believe
Absolutely.
Gareth has left the project. That is amazing to me.
You heard it here first, guys.
You heard it here
Breaking news from our sources.
We got
Wait
someone
for that now. I think
Somebody got just then.
Someone's heart stopped, and it wasn't just mine too. I was like, did I miss another thing in the gym?
David Leitch. David Leitch is back. They brought him back.
Vin Diesel is starring.
Spielberg liked the movie so much, The Fall Guys. Did you guys see that, by the way? Steven Spielberg would loved Ryan Gosling in Fall Guys.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Steven Spielberg isn't like driving his like F-150 of cash to his front door for Jurassic. You know what I mean?
Do you remember when Jurassic World came? Do you remember when? It was only a few years ago, but
10 years ago almost.
10 years ago, actually. Wow,
It's a long time, dude.
But do you remember that report that Steven Spielberg gave his earnings from Jurassic World to Colin as Colin's gift, as Colin's pay?
Wow, really?
I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember
really?
that either.
Yeah, it was some article spoke about it. I think Colin said about it or something. It was like a gesture, like good job, you know?
Yeah, here's a cool $75 million. Good job, Colin. You did it.
Yeah,
A little
good job.
cash.
Good job. Let me just
Go
inject
buy yourself
this.
a present.
No wonder this guy moved to like, where do you move?
Let's
Europe
spend it
or
all
something? This
at
guy's probably living in a castle now. I understand why. Good for him.
Can we go back to the Jurassic Outpost archives and find that article?
Yeah, we dig it
Chris
up.
probably wrote this.
Gareth though. Gareth, don't worry, everybody. Gareth is still directing, as far as we know. I mean, he might not be. Something may have happened. We don't know. I mean,
His assistant is in London now.
Packing
at
up
studio.
to go to London, yeah.
Yeah.
excellent. Which who is his assistant? I mean, let's not dox, but
she's
worked
on
previous
Instagram.
movies.
Yeah, she was posting on Instagram that she was heading to London, and she updated her LinkedIn page saying that
So
she
she
was
wasn't
working on the
London
film.
based originally. She was like Gareth's PA in LA.
No, yeah, and she was posting. As creepy as this sounds, she was posting like, "Oh, going away. She's going to be gone for 6 months, away from her family, etc."
She's getting deployed to Malta.
Yep,
Yeah.
undercover.
Deployed.
To fight,
Malta,
deployed to
Thailand.
fight in the Jurassic Wars.
Yeah.
Jurassic
So I guess the game has
World.
changed, because I was looking on IMDb the other day. I'm like, because back in the day, you would check and see like who's been added to the crew and stuff. I checked yesterday.
And of course, the
It's still
IMDb
Chris and
score.
no one else. I'm like, okay, good. So I guess the game has changed. You got to check on LinkedIn now, I guess.
Chris.
Yeah, it's LinkedIn. Yeah.
The game has passed me. Look at this. This is tough. 10 years has gone by, I guess. The game has changed.
IMDb, like anybody can put stuff on there. I don't think studios are that concerned. I think it's probably more so when there'll be like a PR push again, when they like officially announce the movie and like all the leads. They'll probably
Yeah, when
do
people want to
rundown of,
update
like,
their resumes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
That's probably when they check it, kind of thing, you know.
Another thing that has basically come out that people found is the set decorator, production designer role.
Oh, any pictures? Any cool foliage shots in pots yet?
The stalking has begun.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
This is the nitty gritty of it. This is the behind the scenes that you guys don't get to see sometimes with the Outpost. This is how we dig sometimes. This is our paleontology.
Apparently, this person also updated their LinkedIn Indeed page saying they were working on this. But she also worked on Jurassic World Dominion. So, yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I mean, say what you
Yeah,
want
that
about
was
Jurassic World
great.
Dominion. The production design was pretty good.
Yeah, it's absolutely got no relevance on.
Yeah.
It'll be one of them will slip up soon enough, like the Camp Cretaceous, the Chaos Theory artist that just like leaked all the characters. That was so
Look,
funny.
I'm looking in the background of all of her Insta stories when she posts. What are you doing?
Gareth.
What are you doing?
Do we know do we have a live track on Gareth right now? Do we have his private jet track?
Live track.
Yes, actually, we are
Oh.
tracking that as we speak.
There's a site for that now too. I forgot about this. Look at this. Times have changed. You can
I
track
doubt
an
Gareth
entire
would do
crew
it.
around the world. Look
Private
at this.
jet. But Spielberg does probably, right? Must do. They all
Max
must
Spielberg.
do.
That's
We
what
don't
we're
call
using
him that,
Dino
definitely
Tracker
not.
for now.
Maybe that Dino Tracker, but for the film.
Gareth
phone, yeah.
Tracker.
That's
Gareth
what
Tracker.
DarkJurassic.com is.
Maybe that's what the gift that Spielberg gave Colin was. Maybe it was a plane. Here you go.
How plane.
Now you can travel to and from meetings much easier.
You know I can't stop this plane.
Yeah, I got you the Jurassic Park 3 plane.
Yeah.
No, that was Joe Johnson's gift. Oh,
I mean, that plane's kind of it's not really seaworthy, skyworthy, is it?
not anymore. I don't think.
For
The
those who
company I
don't know and who
used to-
can't see it, which I guess is everyone, I don't know why I keep saying that. I guess it's like so ingrained. I was having a computer issue, and then in the corner of my eye, I saw Jack flash something, and the computer issue became.
Whoa.
I'm still looking at the issue right now, but the issue became a secondary because Jack just flashed us the Jurassic Park 3 VHS, and my God, this might be shinier than. And it's signed. It's been defiled by someone.
Whose signature is that? Do you reckon?
Looks like. Honestly, I don't even know.
I reckon it's some kids.
Oh, it's not even like a legitimate thing.
I found this in a thrift store, so I have a feeling
Oh.
it's probably just some kid that drew it. But
Well, it's the
I
most
don't know. I
mint
could
condition thing I've ever
I could
seen.
put it on eBay and be like, "Yeah, it's signed by
Eric Morgan.
Well, whose signature is that closest resemble?
I think that
Dr.
looks
Grant.
like
Joe Johnson,
Ooh.
but just JJ. Yes, it's Joe Johnson.
Jimmy
Yeah,
Buffett.
sure.
Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
Oh no, it's backwards because the camera's mirrored. It's LL. Anyway, that's a detour. Jurassic Park 3 is a great movie, and I think it's probably a good place to wrap up if you want.
Well, no,
Thanks
this is
for
actually a
joining.
good jumping off point before we start wrapping up the podcast. We should start.
And scene.
That's a good
Maybe
one.
we
7
should
minutes is a
talk
good
about
bar.
the new rumors because the new rumors are spicy.
Tell
And
us about them.
What have you
Assis.
heard?
Tell us about them.
The newest. Let's start from the top. Our friend Daniel RPK. He's not our friend, but he could be. He's very
But
popular.
he does follow Jurassic Outpost.
Oh,
There you go.
there we
So
go.
I would consider that a close friend.
And if you guys don't know who this is like an online Twitter scooper movie news guy who tries to get the leaks and stuff. He's pretty reputable. He has like 300,000 followers on Twitter, which is like legitimate. So
And you can't buy followers, so you know that's
yeah,
legit.
there's no bots. No bots. We got that cleaned up.
Yeah.
Link
but
in bio.
basically, the hot stuff right now is
I'm in
that
bio. I've seen some of them
We-
today. I was like, I'm in bio. Okay. Right.
Anyways, the thing is, we got some new casting rumors. Dev Patel.
Yes.
And
Dev Patel in bio. Yes.
listen,
Please.
we'll get more into this. But then today, some more casting rumors dropped. We heard
From
that
the same source. From
same
Dan
source. This is our friend
RPK.
Daniel RPK on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can follow him there, which I suggest you do because he's got like a Patreon. You got to subscribe to it to get to the news, which I do. So there it is. That's how we get our news, boys. We sometimes got to pony up the cash.
Assis is our. Every time Daniel RPK tweets, we're like, Assis, what did he say?
Yeah, I'm literally sitting at the leg press machine, and then I get a message. I'm like, with the link, I'm like, oh, it's time to go to work. Here we go. And then I'm like distracted for 5 minutes. And then, anyways, we also know that there's going to be 6 lead roles. We know that Scarlett Johansson's already been offered a role. The trades have picked that up, so that's pretty far down the line at this point.
We're assuming she had signed as well at this point.
Yeah, we're assuming that she's on board at this point, especially the fact that we haven't heard anything else come out about that. The newest stuff is that there's 6 lead roles. Dev Patel has been offered a lead role as we don't know yet. The third male role we know was passed on by Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, and Glenn Powell, but that's been offered to Nicholas Hoult. We don't expect him to
Who is
actually
not
take that role.
the same as those three people.
No,
Yeah.
it's like
It's like
they
David
were.
Leitch and Gareth Edwards. You're just like, okay, I don't know what they're swinging for.
I mean, honestly, I would prefer Nicholas Holt to
100%.
any
But
of
he
them.
doesn't look like he'll be able to take it because he's filming Superman right now
busy.
for a few months over the summer.
Busy.
So it's going to coincide with the Jurassic stuff. So I don't think he can take a lead role, maybe a supporting role.
What
And
are
we
you,
also know
what are you
that-
talking about? Nicholas Holt is here with us on the pod right now.
Oh yeah, his name is
Plot twist.
Derek Davis on the screen for us.
Yes.
He Nicholas Holt was also in Skins, I believe.
Yes, someone else was saying this is Jurassic Skins reunion now. With
Which
Dev
is
Patel
like-
coming back as well.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, Skins. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
While you look at that,
He was
well,
also in this really good movie, I think, called About a Boy. I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's a British movie.
he's a pretty good actor. I liked him in Life After Beth. He plays like a somewhat smart zombie kind of guy, kind of cool. Oh no, he plays maybe. Oh, that's not something else. I don't remember. Either way,
Warm Bodies?
he's great. He's hot
He
right
was in
now, so
X-Men.
makes
He
sense.
was in First Class, wasn't he?
Oh yeah.
Was
Yeah, he's
Beast.
he's good stuff.
He's
I-
Beast.
Yeah, he's
obviously,
Beast.
It's the same as Dev Patel for me. It's like I grew up with things like Skins, being in Britain. So Nicholas Holt as well is a very familiar face. And About a Boy is a really great movie as well, worth watching, at least from memory. That's a really interesting name to put down, especially considering supposedly the same role had been offered to those three.
So
Three
before we
cri-
start
say three
discussing, though, I think we should just like cap it up real quick. The final bit of rumor stuff here is that the other three roles are allegedly two sisters, and the third lead role is the boyfriend to one of the sisters. So
Yeah.
that's something that's new to us. And
And those
Daniel
three are
RPK
teenagers.
Teenagers, yes, they are teenagers. Daniel RPK is also saying that they are going to the island. He doesn't specify where island, which island. He just says island.
And he
And
said
begin
he said
discussion,
visiting. He said visiting the island, right?
Yeah, so the exact post said everything about that. Glenn Powell passed. Nicholas Holt has the current offer, but he's going to film Superman for many more months, so it's unlikely he will accept. I'm assuming because it's a lead role, that makes sense. Dev Patel is in talks. The teens are two sisters and the oldest sister's boyfriend. There is a male villain that they are looking to cast soon as well. They are also looking to cast multiple supporting roles of people who visit the island. So, we've heard rumors that Isla Sorna is going to be the focus. We've heard rumors that none of the islands are going to be in. I feel like visiting the island. Visiting what? Is it going to be like glorified tourism of like an abandoned island? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's visiting the abandoned Jurassic World Park 10 years on. Actually, that could kind of work. It's like glorified tourism, right? The same people that have the first two tickets reserved for this flight to the moon. Whatever she says.
We have we have two tickets reserved on the very first commercial flight to the moon.
Yeah, it's as she's saying it. Her delivery, she's like, "Oh fuck, I should never have said that."
Well, at that point, it's like she's fucking with Grant. Like that's not true.
Yeah. Oh man, great movie. Interesting rumors. So first,
There's a lot to get into here. This casting it's a lot we can speculate on as well, which is fun. This is the best part of all this. But
we have to say, obviously, none of this is official. Daniel RPK,
No.
while he is I would call
He has
like
some
a
misses. He
verified
does have misses.
scooper, right? But he'll verified scooping, but you can't trust everything, and this may be a case of information passed to him mistranslated a little. Maybe some of these names like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, maybe they haven't passed. Maybe they were just considered at some point. Maybe there's a bit of translation here, but it is interesting. Visit the island. Has Daniel RPK said anything in the past about the island, or like?
well, we know that this is where the Jurassic City stuff also comes from, and we do know that Sick Triceratops also fed him some bogus information about
No, that was V Scoops.
V-Scoop. Sorry, that's correct.
Yeah, that was
But,
V Scooper. Yeah.
That was a
Daniel RPK
wannabe
does
Daniel
have some-
RPK.
Daniel RPK mostly does MCU stuff from what I've seen in the past, and he does have some misses with that I know of for sure. So
Thing is,
but I
things
do-
change as well behind the scenes, so it's not like it could all be true, and then the official info comes out. We know that happens because it's even now people discover stuff. Like Derek discovers stuff about Jurassic that nobody knew. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, how random, how cool. Oh, Rick Carter wrote his own screenplay. Wow, Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. Dev Patel, though, I think that news came first, and I'm really pumped for that. He's a fantastic actor, and I think of the talent of Monkey Man. Didn't Universal distribute Monkey Man?
Yeah.
So there's already that kind of. They're already aware there's that kind of relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're like with. I mean, David Leitch, however you say his name. It seems like they're like seeing things that are doing well or that are popular or that people think is cool in the industry at the moment, and they're like pulling people from those things. Like they're like, oh, David Leitch made Fall Guy, we thought that was cool, let's grab him. Like and that can be good or bad, and in the case of Dev Patel it would be awesome.
Amazing.
So
Amazing, fantastic.
yeah.
What did Sam, what did you say yesterday on Twitter? You like, I'm going feral or something? I'm like, that was pretty much exactly my reaction. Like, to have another, like, such a legitimate actor who doesn't do franchise movies, really, it gives me a little bit of confidence in the script. So it tells me that he saw the script, you liked it enough to be like, you know what? The thing I'm going to do after my directorial debut, which is doing, like, fairly well, is like, I'm going to go do a Jurassic movie, a Jurassic World movie, a fourth movie in the Jurassic World franchise. You know what I mean? So
Seventh in the whole franchise as well.
Paycheck, or the script is like, you know what, this is not bad, and a chance to work with Spielberg, Scarlett Johansson, and like another big like movie star potentially. And you get to lead a dinosaur movie, a classic. That's pretty big.
Plus, working with Gareth Edwards as well for him as a director himself. Then,
dude,
like,
Gareth Edwards probably grew up on Skins as well, eh?
Yeah, probably. Actually, that's probably where the Nicholas Hoult thing. I wonder if that's like an influence.
Oh wow.
I just thought about that. That's
It's
interesting.
because I'm not into like, I don't do too much of the fan casting thing, where people just like put actors in Jurassic roles. But whenever I do think of that, there are always like it is always a handful of British actors that I kind of are ingrained in my head from years ago that I'm like, ooh, I wonder what they're doing now, kind of thing. I wonder what they like to see them in Jurassic. Yeah, I wonder.
And the thing is, I will say, initially when I read Chris Hemsworth and Chris Evans, I was like, oh gosh, no, get that away. Still, yeah, get that away. But it makes sense as to why they might have considered it, though. They may have considered it because Scarlett Johansson is obviously really good friends with Chris Hemsworth, and she grew up with like Chris Evans, like they're friends since like kids. So I could see Scarlett Johansson being like, "Yo, I'll do this role, but offer it to like my friends, so I can like."
Or maybe it's more from a chemistry point of view. They're thinking of like on-screen chemistry. Maybe these are like it's a romantic lead thing, because Gareth. That's the thing with Gareth's movies. There are mostly all romantic leads. Am I wrong? Like it's always. Like Monsters was is that right? What was Monster about? Monsters was
the photographer escorting the guy's daughter across like Mexico or something.
That's right. Yeah. Was there a romantic element or
kinda?
Yeah.
There wasn't one in Rogue One though.
Okay. Yeah.
Who will the next Jurassic kiss be? Who will the next Jurassic kiss be?
Yeah.
Maybe Dev Patel and
I volunteer.
yeah. There's gonna be a lineup of volunteers probably at this point. But I will say Glenn Powell's the one name that's interesting because he's also had a role in Jurassic. He's not going to be playing Dave, obviously, because Glenn Powell's kind of.
Or maybe he is.
Maybe Camtasia Dave is doing tours to the abandoned Jurassic World.
Yeah.
How big is Glenn Powell? Like, is he massive?
He's getting really big.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in that Sydney Sweeney.
I should say not in
movie.
Like in acting size. I know he's blowing up acting size in Hollywood, but I mean like physically, is he like massive like Chris Hemsworth and Evans? Because like those are similar.
Generally, yeah. He's in Twisters. He's in Twisters.
Just look up that movie with Sydney Sweeney because I think they're both basically.
Oh yeah, he's in that. He has a six pack. Okay, so he's in a similar state as to where Chris Pratt was when he got cast in Jurassic World, right? Like on the cusp of blowing up, right? And about to become like a mega star. So I don't know why Nicholas Hoult kind of like fell into that.
Maybe the studio. I feel like maybe the studio are the ones pushing the Macho Men, and it's Gareth being like, "No, I'd like actors, like Nicholas Hoult, Dev Patel, like maybe."
Scarlett Johansson's also an actor. I've seen some stuff online being like, "Oh, Scarlett Johansson, she's a legitimate actor." She's
Yeah,
been
no, I'm
Oscar
not saying the
nominated
others
and
aren't.
stuff.
I just feel like you can tell they're very studio push names because they are just the names that are in every movie.
They're too much of a face almost for the Jurassic franchise. I wouldn't want someone
It
that
doesn't need
massive.
that. Yeah, it's never needed that. And when
No, it
Scarlett
takes
Johansson was
takes
first
away.
rumored, I had the same reaction. And then I kind of remembered, like, I've seen a lot of her movies that were before Marvel. And she's a fantastic actress. And I think take her away the Marvel, I need to get that out of my head, and I'm fine
You
with
need to.
it.
You're being
Then it's
bad.
fine. But I think putting names like Chris Evans, was it Chris Evans?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Chris Hemsworth, I'm like, really? I don't feel like that comes from a logical place. But then I don't know.
Find someone not named Chris, Universal.
or that.
And Hemsworth, I will remember, right? I just remembered now. Hemsworth also said he's going to do a little bit less acting these days because he wants to focus on family and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's also probably a reason why he passed. Nicholas Hoult probably going to pass. So
Probably
we
a
are probably going to
demanding-
hear some in the next coming days. I would say we'd probably hear another third male lead name. And I forgot to mention, Daniel RPK said they're also casting for villains. So this is hopefully not just a
Main
simple,
villain, it says,
going JP3, your plane crashes on the island, and Dev Patel and Scarlett Johansson's crew has to come in and rescue. I hope it's not a rescue mission type of thing.
It kind of sounds like, based on what Daniel RPK is saying and the casting information, like visit the island, it kind of does sound like it is going to be that some sort of tourism, botched
You do have to go
tourism,
back to
dark
basics,
tourism
but
thing
not-
gone wrong.
You
I mean,
literally-
still,
okay,
it's a logical concept though in the world of Jurassic with these abandoned islands. If you think even pre-Jurassic World days, like there would have been
Absolutely.
that style of dark. There's even that Netflix show, Dark Tourist or whatever. That people go to like the worst places.
Abandoned theme
tourism.
parks.
People would go to the Jurassic Islands. I mean, we see it in Jurassic Park 3. We see dinosaur, right?
but we've seen it already, and we've seen
Yeah, I know,
Lost
I
World
know.
done again as Fallen Kingdom. Like
It's a
Dominion was the
lazy
only
way,
one
but-
we've seen.
I just can't. I don't know. I just something because all the rumors and stuff suggest like, well, we're going back to an island, so we must be going to Sauna or Nublar. But I can't see them doing it. I don't. At least not for the whole thing.
Can I say one thing about the island?
No.
I think people. I'm not going to say it, but people are going to want to hear it, so I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh.
I've heard from behind the scenes from one of my sources, legitimate.
Uh-oh.
No, legitimate. He's also heard rumors of it being an island, so this gives it a little bit more credence as to why I believe the Dev Patel stuff. Also, I really want it to be real because it's freaking Dev Patel. I was showering the day before the news came out. I was like, "Oh, Dev Patel will look great in a Jurassic movie with the long."
That's what you were thinking about in the
Excellent hair.
shower. That's what you're thinking about.
Who doesn't?
I'm a
I
simple
mean,
person. I mean, who doesn't think about Dev Patel in the shower? First of all, if you're not,
That's true.
you're
True.
wrong. Okay, you're wrong. And I think any Indian listeners, I want to speak for the entire community when I say Dev Patel. He represents us. He's a very cool member of the Indian community, and that's all I'll say about that. I want him in this movie really badly. So I'll take an island. If you got to put me on an island again and do JP3 all over again for this cast specifically, minus Evans and Hemsworth, good to go. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
the thing is, as a Jurassic fan, like if the next movie is they're going into sauna for whatever reason, I'll take it. Like I'm not going to say no to going into the island full of dinosaurs. That's the mystery we all want answered: is sauna, things like that. I just worry that they wouldn't do it right, or they'll come up with some bizarre concept of what really is happening on sauna, and it's like, why? You know, didn't need to be sauna. Could have been an island anywhere else. You know, but then filming in Thailand, Malta, how do you think that plays into what we're hearing here? Because if you look at Thailand, you could take the landscapes of Thailand, the coastal areas, and you could believe them to be Isla Sorna or maybe the other islands.
I think Thailand stands in for at least one of the coasts of Isla Sorna, like especially that coast where the game trail is in the Lost World. Like there's sort of that like gray brown rock and sort of that mixed with forest and like open plain. Like yeah, I don't know. That's the area of Isla Sorna that I think of with Thailand.
Well, the Nepali coastline on Kauai is that's the Sorna, you know, coast. That's that rough edged rock kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
look. But yeah, you know, descriptions of the novel of the island in the novel of like basically almost like a walled island, right? Massive,
Yeah.
like cliffs surrounding this belly of an island. I think, you know, using if that's kind of what we're doing, if we're going back to sauna and Gareth's taking us to Thailand, some of the cliffs there. Some of the landscapes are much bigger than what we see in Kauai. So it's going to be even more daunting if that really is what it is. Gareth's the guy to kind of take us back to sauna. His arrival, he executes it really well, I think, is what I'm trying to say. Poorly.
Well, we also know Gareth Edwards is a Jurassic Park fan. I mean, he shot the creator in Thailand, right?
Yes, in Thailand, in part in Thailand. Yes.
Of course, the beeping is on our end. So that I must imagine he was like, when he was in the jungles, like knee deep in mud, he was like, "Oh, this would be sick for like a Jurassic or a MonsterVerse movie or whatever." Because we know he's coming back to MonsterVerse now too. So I guarantee you, he was there like doing a little bit of.
He's coming back to
Wait,
MonsterVerse?
Gareth is coming back
Edwards.
to MonsterVerse?
Yeah, so he's coming back to that Monarch season 2 as a producer and writer.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
That's cool though.
interesting.
They want things to. They're very different, the movies now, to the first Godzilla.
Yeah, quite a bit.
So getting him on as a producer, I think is probably unwise.
Yeah, they're still a blast. They're just massive and crazy and dumb.
Yeah.
But
What do we think about the 3 teenager rumor? Are we concerned we're going to get 3 Zacks out here? Especially
Maybe it is
David
Zach.
Kep. David Kep's like senior citizen out there writing like young man dialogue. Remember how Ian Malcolm was like saying like I slid into her DMs and stuff? Are we going to get a lot of that stuff? Like faux young
Cap
people
didn't
stuff?
write that though, you know. So
Exactly. So I'm saying, can Kep even write that? Can you write TikTok teenagers? Are we going to get cool teenagers? I saw that on Twitter.
I don't
Someone's
want
like,
TikTok teenagers.
Exactly.
No.
That's what I'm saying. I'm concerned because I saw the 2 teenagers. I'm like, oh, TikTok. Here we go.
Yeah, but
I
I
think-
mean, I feel like
I think Kep writes
MySpace.
great characters, and like
Phil-
I feel like hopefully he'll justify what he's doing with however they act. Like if they're bratty, maybe they get eaten or something. But
Well, the
I mean,
boyfriend seems
we're
like
assuming they're like
neat-
westernized teenagers that live on TikTok. If we're filming in Thailand, if we're going to Thailand, for example, what if they're Thai teenagers? What if they don't speak English? What if we have
that'd be the best
main
case scenario.
characters that are being attacked by something in the jungles of you know what I mean? It's not sauna.
Yeah, we're
it's
just
nothing
assuming
like that.
it's a Western.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, because the TikTok thing as well. Yeah, I get it, but like films age less when they don't show you cell phones, right? They don't show you Facebook and stuff at the time. So, be good to kind of avoid that kind of technology in the movie.
that's something that the Alex Garland movie I saw last night does really well.
Oh, you saw that?
The way
I'm
it
very
handled
excited for
it.
that.
Well, there's just like no. I don't remember any cell phones in the movie, honestly.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
there's cameras.
That's the way to
but-
do it.
Yeah.
Cameras are-
Anyway.
Give everybody a dumb phone or something. Maybe.
Honestly,
flip
just
phone.
set it. They should have just set this in like the 90s when their phones weren't just a thing. Make it
Sat
look cool.
phones.
People
I know,
got baggy
seriously.
short shorts. You know what I mean?
Does it
Polos tucked in. That's the
does it
world
work
I
any
want.
better than your satellite phone?
Listen, I didn't even see that. There we go.
Whoa,
Ladies
that's a
and gentlemen, Jack has
DVD.
brought out the Jurassic Park 3 Collector's Edition DVD. I think that's the number one Jurassic Park item I had as a kid.
Yeah.
That I used the most.
So I actually remember when I was a kid. Now this came back to me. This isn't the British one. This is the like American one, right? When I was young, I was quite young in 2001. My auntie went to America and she came back with that version of the DVD.
Magic.
That's the one I had in my
Wow.
collection. So I found it the other day.
When your family comes back from a trip and you're like, what did you buy for me? And she got you that. That's such a good. That's
Jurassic
perfect.
Park 3.
I will say though, Jurassic Park 3's had a great 180 on the show. It used to be so hated. I was like the only one defending. Now it's like it's a little bit more loved. I like seeing this.
It is one of the best. It is top 3, I'd say.
Listen,
Oh,
listen, man.
Look at that.
Jurassic Park 3 has had a 180 like in the public eye and with
Yeah.
me personally
Yes, it
also.
has.
Like I used to hate that movie and like now I love it.
It's funny
So,
how
like,
that's
I don't
happened
know.
after the 3 world movies. How people.
there it makes,
Wow.
In
it makes
comparison.
the heart grow fond a little bit of the
Interesting,
good
huh?
times.
But yeah, no. Anyway, so back to that news though, the teenage thing. I think it's interesting. I mentioned it before, but the Texas Chainsaw movie that Fede. Wait, was this before we were recording?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Never mind. But anyway, that movie, right? The Fede Alvarez, the one he produced, Texas Chainsaw. They had TikTok and they had social media in that. And while it was quite they did use it kind of well because basically they're just like filming. Leatherface comes on the bus they're all on. It's all these hipster teenagers. And he's got the chainsaw, he's wearing the mask. And they're all like filming him, like, what is this guy doing? Like, what are you going to do? And he just like slaughters them all.
Doesn't he say you're going to get canceled, bro?
Yeah, there's like lines like that. But like, basically you see a couple of angles, I think, through the phone live streaming as like Leatherface is running at them, you know, and it's handled quite well. But the only thing I was thinking is, it's going to age so poorly. Give it a few years and it's not going to be the same interface that we now use, and it's going to look weird. It's like movies like Chef. Remember that movie with
John Favreau,
Scarlett Johansson, Johnny,
Scarlett Johansson,
yeah.
That scene where he cooks up pasta. Come on, you remember that scene? He seduces her by just cooking her pasta. It's brilliant.
Dude, John Favreau.
John Favreau.
Chef is a really good movie. Yeah.
But the way that movie handles social media, I don't know if you remember, but like you never see the interface, I don't think. But when he sends a tweet or when someone tweets something, the bird just flies out the phone and through the screen and like up into the air, the Twitter bird or something. I remember at the time thinking it's handled quite well because you don't really see them typing, you don't see any of that, but I can't remember, but something, it flies off or something. I thought it works quite well because it's still kind of relevant. Well, I guess it should be a big X now.
You know what, though? I think I should give Jurassic World some credit. Now that I'm just thinking in my head, I don't think the Jurassic World trilogy had any thing in it that made it dated to, like, the 2010s. You know what I mean? I think Jurassic World, like, especially the first one, did a really good job. Like, all, like, the phones and stuff, they're just, like, generic kind of iPhone,
they are
Samsung
generic,
looking
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And then the
It's
Samsung
phone
technology
calls
is
as
all
well. It's very
futuristic.
much like a phone to your ear.
It's just
not
a random phone. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, look at my iPhone interface. I'm pressing the messages button.
It's
and the
a
keyboard. None
it's
of
a
that stuff.
Samsung because we were product placing Samsung technically.
True, yeah.
but
Well, yeah,
but
it
it's
is
a generic
handled
Samsung phone.
It is handled in the same way that the satellite phones are handled in Jurassic and in Lost World, for example. Like they don't. It's not like the focus. It's just something the character's using. It feels like something they did have in their pocket. It's not like, wow, look at this. You know,
The only thing that dates it is technically the vehicles and like
the
that
vehicle
type of stuff.
shots in Jurassic World are terrible because
I don't know why they were.
they're just commercials.
They literally saw like that. Remember they released the behind the scenes picture of, I think it was Frank and Colin at the Indominus Rex paddock. They're
With
like
the
framing the freaking Mercedes. Like he's like doing this with his hands in front of like the license area. He's like, Frank's like, oh yeah, this is good shit.
This is
Good
brilliant.
Frank.
It's brilliant. Frank's like on the phone with Coca-Cola. He's like, we've got another one. We've got another one.
As
the guy.
someone
He's the
who
guy.
as someone who wants a G-Wagon really badly, I enjoy those G-Wagon shots.
Yeah, they did do a good job selling that truck to me. I think G wagons are really.
Well,
cool
my
and
issue
very
though, the
expensive.
G-Wagon is like one of the best off-roaders, or at least in looks, if you have the money, right? It's such a beast, but they didn't do anything with it. It's just a standard G-Wagon with a logo slapped on the side. They should have customized it a lot more. You know, think of the staff Jeeps in the first Jurassic. And the customized paint job, all the different interior, the colors, all the things on the seats. I don't know. It was a bit of a letdown, but they are cool. And then was it InGen? What were they called? ACU? The ACU vehicles that go through, crucially underused in that film. Like we needed more of the ACU, like storming it through the jungles.
Didn't that thing have like 6 wheels or 8 wheels or something ridiculous?
They had the AMG, yeah. The
AMG,
Dude,
yeah.
what a machine!
6x6.
What a beautiful machine.
Yeah, I think I saw a video of that. Like they took it through a swimming pool. Like they drove
I
it
saw it
through
in, like,
a
the desert,
swimming
the
pool.
dunes and stuff. It's a beast. That thing's
Yeah.
a beast.
Yeah, it is a beast. But they didn't use it. They didn't use it. They just like it's just there.
It's
and then
the 6x6 is like driving in the background of one scene.
yeah,
You know what? They probably had to return it after the end of the shoot.
True that no damage.
couldn't afford
nothing.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
They
in the
were-
Lost World, when they just roll that one off the cliff, I love that. The speed. It's like
It's like, well, I guess we're not getting our deposit back on that one,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh, do we know if Michael Lantieri is still doing stuff?
I I don't know. That's a good
'cause
question.
I don't think that's a name I've heard in the franchise in a long time. He did special
Special dinosaur effects.
I thought he did special.
He did special effects. He's the guitar string man.
Guitar string. He did all like the Lost World vehicle stuff and the rigging and all that crap. And, like, I would like to see him back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's something about the essence of just like that core group of creatives that made the first two.
He was back.
Yeah.
He worked on Dominion.
Special.
He worked on Fallen Kingdom, and he worked on Jurassic World.
They didn't do a good job.
There we go.
They didn't do a good job highlighting him. I take it back. But the point is, bring them all back. The essence.
Let's talk about that. What creatives do we want to work on Jurassic World?
Well, think
4?
about it. We already have like Spielberg. Like, I would say the trilogy of the Jurassic Park, I guess, creative heads is Kathleen Kennedy, Steven Spielberg, David Koepp, right?
Yeah.
I'd pay money to have Kathleen Kennedy back.
So
would too.
people are like, no. I'm like, dude, she's
I'd
the
risk
reason
it.
Jurassic is as big as it is today. She's the reason.
I think get her away from Disney. I think we might see just Kathleen Kennedy being a fantastic producer. Like,
I agree. I think she
not
prefers
deny
that.
she isn't a fantastic producer, but the reception on Star Wars, I guess, is dwindling a little. But
It's like when your mom. It's like the family is incomplete. You got the kid with David Koepp, the mom with Kathleen Kennedy, Spielberg's the dad. It's the family is incomplete right now. My heart feels broken. It doesn't feel the same. Now that Koepp is back and like Spielberg's back, like the family's getting back together. Bring mom back. Give her a call.
Frank feels like the stepdad.
Yeah, I don't-
It's a
nothing
true
against
Jurassic
Frank.
story because there's
bit
divorce.
Divorce, yeah, that's you know what? We're never gonna get a true Jurassic Park movie until Kathleen Kennedy and all three of them make a Jurassic Park movie together.
I
There's no
fully
reason
agree with
these
you.
things Don't work
Fully
without
agree.
All three.
He
of them.
wants to be with his daughter. She's getting a divorce.
I want Kathleen Kennedy back. We want Kathy. J World 4.
I'm telling you, it makes more of a difference than people want to give her credit for. I think because she's like a producer is more than just like someone who just sort of organizes the whole production. Right? They get like they are more involved creatively. Right?
They're overseeing.
I feel a different level of passion when I see her in interviews now than I do in like the 90s. And things change and the industry changes, but I definitely.
Yeah, now she's like more of a business suit now.
I grew up again like watching her as one of the many like people in the movies, just thinking these people are just like they're so passionate, and you dream to have that level of passion for something, you know, and the way they talk about it. Like she went up as well. You got to think she produced Jurassic Park, and then she exec produced Lost World, so she put money down. You know, she slammed some money down on the table and was like, "I'm in." Yeah, I'm in for this Jurassic thing. This is working.
It makes a difference. I'm telling you.
Yeah, although I'd love to talk to her about Jurassic Park 3. I'd love to really see what went down. You know, because if Joe, you know, imagine having phone calls with Joe Johnston, and he's like, "Yeah, I just shut the script." 5 weeks before filming, she's handling the budget. You know, she's like trying to manage the like non-Spielberg next Spielberg movie, and I'd love to know what went down, because there was that interview where she said she chose not to delay the film.
That's what I remember. I totally remember that. She was like, it came down to either canceling it or like, I think it was canceling it or shooting it. And they're like, we're shooting it.
Yeah. Sets were already being built. And she said she was like crossing the street on her cell phone to like...
Yes, you remember this. I remember we talked about this way back in the pod. Everyone was like, no, that didn't exist. We were looking for it. We couldn't find it. I'm glad you remembered.
It's a Mandela effect, man.
Dude,
You're never wrong. It just existed in a different universe.
Or is it the Mengele effect? Right?
So you were in a different universe.
Yeah.
Whoa.
We need to go to a universe where the Jurassic World trilogy was bangers.
Is it Dilemma or Dilemna?
There you go.
Oh. No, for real though. I have these tabs up. I was just thinking, because we were discussing them before. The Fall Guy, it has released, hasn't it? It's now in theaters, or it's just about to.
I think it's about to be.
CinemaCon.
It's 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, 38 reviews. So is Monkey Man, 89%.
There you go.
Although 500 plus, so a few more.
Sam, will you tell us why Dev Patel should be in a Jurassic movie, please?
Why not?
Yeah, we didn't really talk about him at all. We just said we were like really excited for him.
I mean, we talked about it before we hit record, though, a little bit too. But
Tell us more. Tell us about your love for Dev.
Well, he's a really good actor. I mean, I think we started talking about that, how we've kind of grown up sort of with him in different things. Like, I mean, Skins we mentioned, and I mean, I remember Slumdog Millionaire and him being everywhere when that shot up.
Yeah, wasn't
and then-
Slumdog his first film? That was like his actual first movie.
Yeah, I think that was his first, because Skins was his first like big acting job, I think. But that was his first movie. I don't know. I personally love The Green Knight. I know a lot of people who love that movie. I think he was fantastic in it. And I think just in general, he's a really good actor, as we see. I mean, from Slumdog Millionaire, he can only get better from there, and he can do action, as he has demonstrated multiple times, and he can direct.
Have you seen Monkey Man? Or
I haven't seen it yet. No,
It
I
is
haven't
out,
seen it
right?
yet, but planning on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
been hearing good things about it.
Is
But
that's his directorial debut, right?
Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah.
I think another thing we said just before we hit record was he might be looking to work with people like Gareth Edwards because he's directing now, and he working with somebody like that, and also coinciding with Frank Marshall will be there, Spielberg will be part of the development. It's probably a huge. If this Dev Patel's probably looking at that, thinking, yeah, this is the right ladder to get behind for sure.
And he's got a relationship with Universal too, because they distributed Monkey Man. So, yeah.
And
Things are looking good for that trade.
I mean, to
He's
be
a very
honest,
legitimate actor.
yeah, and he's more interesting. No offense to any of the Chris's or Glenn Powell, but
All the
he's
offense.
not.
All the offense.
He's not another handsome generic white man
No.
to replace Chris Pratt. Like,
And I think this again something we said just before we recorded. It's like the rumor is that Nicholas Hoult is now been offered the role that Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, and Glenn Powell passed on, and we're kind of thinking who's seeing those four people in the same? Like the three of them make sense, and then Nicholas Hoult isn't really anywhere near it.
So that role would be in addition to Dev Patel, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. In addition to Dev Patel, so it says the male lead. Those three names pass, and then that's currently the offer's currently with Nicholas Hoult, and then a third lead is Dev Patel.
what if Nicholas Hoult gets the villain role?
I can see
Then we
it.
could have a
Kinda like
Skins reunion.
Nicholas
Yeah.
Holt's British. We love a British villain in Jurassic.
Nicholas Hoult is British?
Yeah, they were both in Skins.
Get out
we
of
were saying.
town. I did not know that.
They were both in
Yeah.
Skins.
Sam just spit out her drink.
Are you being serious, Sissy?
No, I didn't know that. I thought he was
Okay.
American.
No, I think most of his things we've seen him in, like at the beginning of his career, he had an American accent, right?
Yeah, he pulled it
Yeah.
off really well. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Good for him. Good actor, I guess.
What
really
else has he
disappears.
been in? Nicholas Hoult. That's another name that I wouldn't have put
He's in
with
the new
Jurassic.
Superman, so he's playing Lex Luthor.
Lex
So he's
Luthor.
fresh
Oh,
off
yeah.
a villain role. So if he wants to do
That's
Lex
actually
is the
kinda-
villain.
Oh, he was in
I'm
Mad Max.
Oh
my
yeah, he was
wow.
in Fury Road. Fury
Yeah.
Road.
So he
Talk
can
about an
play
actor who
like
just disappears. I guess. Jesus, I did not remember he was in that.
I feel like looking at pictures of him now, if I was a casting agent, I would be, and that was the sister's boyfriend, right? Kind of that age.
He's a bit
Yeah.
old for a teenager.
He's-
Teens are two sisters, and the older sister's boyfriend.
he's 34.
The
So
older sister's boyfriend. I don't know. I kind of think maybe.
I think the boyfriend's going to be dino food for sure. Like you got 6 leads, you got to feed one of them. You
got to feed like 3 of them.
Actually, they're not even kids, so you can technically feed the teens to the dinosaurs, right? If they're over 18, that's good to go. Kill them. That's an adult. They can
I mean,
we had-
fight in a war.
We need a scene in Jurassic where someone pushes someone into the mouth of a T-Rex. Like,
trips him.
yeah.
They had the chance when Claire was riding the T-Rex. Owen.
So I want to talk about this for a second. Do we think that no lead characters in the trilogy got eaten because of the response Zara got?
Huh?
No.
So you think they just decided not to kill a single lead character? in
I
all
think it
3
was
movies?
just the
Contracts?
the story. Well, maybe contracts too, but like the story, they just weren't willing to.
like no good guy dies.
I guess, like, I don't know.
That's something
That's
that
just
has to
bad.
change for the next movie. You have to start bringing some stakes back into this. It can't just be a
Yeah.
bunch of actors running from dinosaurs. That's
Well,
not
that's
going
like
to work.
that's my biggest critique of Fallen Kingdom, a movie that I love. It's like we need some good people to die. Like the scene with Iris where she was supposed to get eaten by the Indoraptor, that would have added stakes, like you said, because it's someone that doesn't deserve to die. So
Yeah, but
I'm
then
gonna
I guess
comment
that
Colin here.
maybe they cut that for the same reason that maybe that was a Zara response thing, because it's kind of like she's like, why her?
yeah,
I'm gonna call
that's
Colin
so
said he's
dumb
not
though.
gonna
Poor
take
old
the teeth
lady.
away from his
Yeah.
franchise, and he did. He took the teeth away from the franchise. There's no stakes from
Yeah.
the dinosaurs anymore. We know that each time a main
Yeah.
character encounters a dinosaur, nothing's gonna happen.
I think
Dinosaurs
watch
don't
them
give
do
a
something.
fuck who you are, how old you are,
Oh, you're famous.
what you look like.
Exactly, right? But
No, they
Jurassic
do.
World dinosaurs care
They
because
do
they
in the
watched
world
Guardians of the
era, yeah.
Galaxy. They didn't want to eat they don't want to eat Star Lord. They don't want
You're
to be
too
that guy.
handsome.
So they didn't.
Can't eat you.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
ridiculous. Like you got to start putting some stakes. Like Eddie Carr, if he was in Jurassic World,
R.I.P.
he's not dying. That's the problem. There's no stakes. Characters that
You ripped him in half.
Yeah, a character that you
Hey.
built up got ripped in half.
After
Just fed. I assume you mean Eddie. You might show a little respect.
Man saved our lives by giving his.
Yes.
I'm glad his troubles are over.
Look at that.
Who's this one signed by?
Same kid.
It's the same person.
Someone just sold their Jurassic. You know what happened?
They're just
they
signing
watched Jurassic. They watched the Jurassic World trilogy. They were like, you know what? Not for me. I'm done with this.
For those listening, Jack is holding up another VHS from his collection that is signed by the same person who signed his Jurassic Park 3
Yeah.
VHS, mysteriously.
Not going to reveal the name of who signed it. Top secret. Top secret information. Ooh. Yes, Aziz.
Yes, Aziz.
Aziz is holding up mushrooms. Good stuff.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no, so Nicholas Hoult, though, I think is a really interesting name that's being associated now with Jurassic. I think Dev Patel, Scarlett Johansson, Nicholas Hoult, I can see this cast coming together. I don't like those other names being associated.
No.
And I hope that we get some sort of announcement that brings some names that I just never heard of or something as well.
I think that's what put me off about that rumor. I was like, oh, I hate that they considered the other Chris's and all
Unless
of that.
it's only for like 20 seconds and it's Scarlett Johansson getting divorced from Chris Evans and it's like a phone call or something or a courtroom scene that we always need. Just like little cameo.
Yeah.
Then they
I
can
have a
leave.
question, guys. At what point in in any of the Jurassic Park movies' histories, did they ever cast unknowns as leads? Like, Sam Neill wasn't an unknown. That guy was like literally in contention for James Bond at one point before Jurassic Park.
He was in contention. I think it was after Jurassic.
He was
Jeff
in contention
Goldblum
for
was big,
Bond
too.
after Jurassic Park.
Oh, it's my bad.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Either way,
no, it's not that
he was. They were all.
It's
everyone
not
Lord
was
of the
like
known
Rings.
names.
it's not like unknowns, but it's like not A-listers at that point. I wouldn't have considered
Yeah.
Sam Neill an A-lister. I wouldn't have considered Laura Dern an A-lister. She was 25 when they made that. movie.
Laura
not at
Dern
the
had
time.
her family though in
True.
the industry.
Yeah,
so
that's true, yeah.
that was an
That is
in
true.
there.
True.
Bruce Dern.
But I think it's just more like, like the actor who played Eddie Carr,
Richard Schiff.
Richard Schiff, had done a lot in West Wing already, but wasn't necessarily an A-lister in movies, and I think that is important in these kind of films because it's not
Well,
about
I wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't
star.
say.
It's about the character.
I would say aside from Scarlett Johansson, there's no A-lister because Dev Patel is a really excellent actor. But he's not an A-list actor.
Dude, I don't mean Dev Patel though. I mean like Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth.
But
Glenn
but we know
Yeah.
they're not even going to come. Then I would say the next up was Nicholas Hoult. I wouldn't consider him an A-list actor. I would
No, I
consider him on the
agree.
cusp, but he's not A-list, right?
No, I agree.
I didn't
I
even
like-
know the guy was British.
Yeah. I like him. I like those other names. It's just those three names that apparently passed, which I guess is good. It's just strange because they don't.
Maybe
seem
they
to
saw
fit
it and they're
with
like,
the
we don't
other-
fit this. This movie needs someone good.
Yeah.
Or
That's
maybe
why,
that
again-
was when the Fast and Furious director was attached to it.
Oh,
Oh
please.
yeah.
I mean, different
Maybe
vibe.
Gareth brought a real tone shift, and you said this. Sound like one of you said this. Gareth would have maybe grew up on Skins as well, or would have seen a lot of Skins. And Nicholas Hoult and Dev Patel were both in Skins. Maybe there's that influence. These actors have actually come into it because of Gareth. Never know.
Maybe we'll get Kaya Scodelario. She was in Skins.
Is she
don't
play
know.
Effie? Is that her name? Is she the one
I
in
don't remember.
Crocodile film?
Oh, she's in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah,
the
she
new
is.
one.
She is in that crocodile movie. Yeah, she's in the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean too.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
movie's fantastic.
What's the crocodile movie? What was it
Crawl?
called? Crawl. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Terminator's in that T-1000.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
remember his name.
That's a good movie though.
Yeah, it's fun.
She's a good actress.
We should talk about some camp rotation stuff to close out the pod, because I think we've
Should we?
Yeah.
we need some
Same.
more concrete stuff on the casting before we can really start getting our teeth into this. Because I don't want to commit my heart and soul into this casting of Dev Patel or stuff
I'm
like
committed.
that. 'Cause if it's not on the papers yet, if I don't, you know what I mean? Like if he doesn't like tweet out tomorrow being
Not on
like,
the
"Yeah, I'm in
papers.
Jurassic World now" or whatever. I'm not gonna, that's when I'm
Breaking
gonna start
news.
picturing it properly. Until then,
Well,
wait.
so Chaos Theory. If we want to
Hold,
talk
hold
about
on,
that for a minute.
I got one more question.
Go ahead.
regards to this,
Go ahead.
right? Isla Sorna or not? What are we really thinking here? Because obviously this rumor, we don't know if it's true or not, but it says visit the island. Obviously, there are other islands in the world that exist.
Yes.
So
I'm
gonna
going to
say
go on
New
record. I'm going to go on record right now, and I'm going to be wrong. But like, we're going to come back and listen to this later. But I'm going to go back on record right now and say yes, it's going to be Isla Sorna.
what about you, Samantha? What do you think?
I mean, I think it would be a big hit for like nostalgia stuff. But I don't know. I would hope they would do something different, like go to the island, but not make it the main. You know, them spending the whole time there. Maybe they're in Costa Rica for the rest of it or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Where is
because
this Jurassic City? I wonder. What island
Costa
is it
Rica.
on?
they're filming in Malta as well. We don't know the extent of that filming, but I guess maybe that tells us it isn't
Jurassic
fully
Island.
isolated to at least the Jurassic Island. Maybe we are finally going to get the kind of plot that was considered for Jurassic Park 3, the sort of half island, half mainland plot that happens at the same time. Isn't like Fallen Kingdom where it, one half on the island, one half off. Maybe it is like a coinciding plot or something.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't know how they can. I feel like Sauna works better pre-Jurassic World because there's still so much more mystery there. There's loads of mystery post-Jurassic World, but all we've learnt really is that they've poached the island and there's technically nothing left. Is that what we think about Sauna? It's like
You can retcon that easily, though. I think.
yeah, it's easily
I think-
retconnable, but it just
Be a lie.
feels like they haven't set it up for a good story.
I think maybe what if maybe they left what if they didn't discuss Sorna so much for the last 3 movies because they were planning on building Sorna after these 3 movies?
Well, there
Well,
was
they
no
were-
guarantee
well-
that this would even happen, right?
One thing I will say, it's been so long now, so I guess I can say it, is that when we were at that JP25 event, before
Be
they
careful
screened,
with what you say. I don't know where you're going with this. If it's the
before they
stuff I know.
screened Fallen Kingdom, that event, that was JP25, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Careful.
Colin, we were having a chat with Colin, and he kind of came in closer and was like, "You boys are gonna like what I've done with Sauna," and we were like, "Okay, cool, this is gonna be great."
What the fuck?
So they were doing something with Sauna at some point, and now the only thing we know of Sauna is that they took dinosaurs from
So
it.
that's the twist of this whole Jurassic World 4 story is, whoops, we're using a forgotten idea of Colin Trevorrow.
Well, I just think that it definitely shows in the writing, of course, right, that things changed. And look at the things that were said about Barry. He's such a crucial, critical element in the trilogy of movies, and wasn't in the second one, and then was he basically just cameoed in the third one. And it's, I understand, again, ideas change, but I think Colin saying that, you're going to like what we've done with Sauna and Barry and all the different changes, things changed quite dramatically, I think. I think the
Yeah.
original trilogy that he had planned was actually quite different from what ended up happening. Be really interesting to pick his brain about that. See.
Yeah. Did we want to talk about chaos theory at all? No, what I was going to say with chaos theory is that since this Jurassic World 4 movie seems to be shaping up to be a fourth Jurassic World movie, a sequel post-Dominion, Chaos Theory is set in between Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. So, and I'm just going to ask y'all this because I want to. What did y'all think of the trailer? What do you think about where the timeline is and what the plot's going to be? Like, how we feeling about that?
So I'm more interested in the show. I'm more like, for example, I need to go back now and finish Camp Cretaceous. So that's good. It's gotten me more motivated to actually finish it. I don't like where it's set though, if that makes sense. The timeline. I'd rather have it set just post Dominion. I don't want more stories in between.
I bet
Fallen Kingdom time.
I bet it eventually ends up.
Do, honestly.
Yeah, I bet it eventually ends up after things happening after Dominion, maybe. But what were you gonna say, Jack?
I wouldn't bother watching season 4 and 5 because I kind of have a feeling it's going to be like softly retconned. I just feel like all of that shit on the Manticore Island won't be referenced again.
You think that was more of like past regime type thing?
It was a fever dream. they were just having a fever dream. They were.
Hey, I said the Jurassic World Westworld crossover. That was Camp Cretaceous season 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a spin-off. But I wouldn't bother watching it. Seriously, I would just watch the final episode of Camp Cretaceous, and then I would play Hidden Adventure, just because.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of fun.
Hidden Adventure is a good time.
Yeah, it's just fun, and there's a couple different endings.
Speaking of,
there's a Tarbosaurus. It's great.
We should, after all this, we should end off the pod with a little bit of JP Survival because some stuff popped off with that recently. Remember that, boys and girls, the wishlist stuff.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
you can now wishlist Jurassic Park Survival.
That means more than you think it does.
Yeah, there's a lot about that actually. So apparently the Steam database lists it as November 2022 is when it first got listed, or at least I don't know really what it means. The change log. I don't know. Some nerd can comment and tell us what that means. But yeah, no, for real, it was on there, or at least the data on there says that it was been on there since at least November 2022. So that's like at least 2 years dev, which is good. Probably more. You know, first thing they're doing isn't opening up Steam and being like, right, submit the game.
We know that you can wishlist them on pretty much all game stores now. Like you can do it on the PSN, the Xbox store. So that means they're gearing up for at least pre-order season, I would imagine, for this. Because the fact that this game already has alpha in December that looked pretty solid and polished for the most part tells me that they've been producing the technology behind the scenes for a while, and they've been at least developing this game for at least more than 2 or 3 years. I would have to say, just based on the fact that it's in alpha stage already with gameplay footage, it's not just like a segment or something created for a trailer. No, this is like part of the actual gameplay. The framework is there. That leads me to believe the fact that they've also now started doing the wish listing. I would imagine that we're looking at a trailer for Jurassic Park Survival before the end of summer, with pre-orders opening up if they're going to release it by holiday 2024. Because now I'm in the camp that this game is now coming out holiday 2024. It's coming out this year.
So there were those rumors, weren't there, about December, but that was more a placeholder. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, there was also the Xbox.
Like gearing up for it now.
I think the Xbox page. So this, there's achievements for survival. They're all placeholders.
And that's not a thing you do unless you have the game developed enough to the point where you're like, okay, we know this game's this much length, you can play it this many times.
Yeah, they're figuring out when the achievements are playing. Yeah, when the achievements are playing, and the achievements are all currently placed. They say placeholder, but they say 100,
15 of them.
100 points, survive (bracket secret).
So yeah, that means this game is probably right around the corner. The websites and I guess the storefronts are now getting the word of that's coming out, so they're starting to advertise it on their stores. Look out for a trailer in the next coming months, I guess. Because
digital only. Digital only.
Oh, so that's another trend that's happening in the video game world. A lot of games are going digital only. Alan Wake 2 most recently did that in November of last year. Very big game from Remedy. They went digital only, no physical release. It's just a trend for developers to get the costs of
Yeah,
developing games down a
it's
little bit.
cheaper, I guess. Doesn't really matter,
But the game still costs the same amount for us. Hell yeah.
yeah. But I think so the achievements, and then you've got some other information on Steam, something about what was it on Steam? There was one other thing on here about it. Oh, the size of install was like.
If you got the size, pack it up. This game's coming out this year. You can, if you're a bettor, take this to whatever betting website. I'm sure there's a book on it or whatever they call it.
You heard it here first.
I don't
You
gamble,
heard it here
I don't
first.
know, whatever. The plus minus. I'm sure there's a plus minus on it.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited for that. I think now that the shuffle has happened, the changeover with the company, I'm really keen to see gameplay, real gameplay. It's very possible that the shots that were... I have a feeling that very first trailer wasn't supposed to have any gameplay in. Based on their decision, I feel like they wanted to release a cinematic trailer to tease people, and then I think, the more you think about it, the only comments are going to be, yeah, but where's the gameplay? So I think they shoved a couple shots in at the end to satisfy, to be like, yeah, it's real. So I don't think they were initially going to be there, but...
Jack, did you legitimately see a file size? Because I didn't see that. Did you see a file size?
Yeah, I couldn't find it just now when I was looking, but it was
because if you saw a file size, then this game is coming out this year then.
No, it doesn't have.
This game's pretty close to polished.
It doesn't have the system requirements filled out yet.
It was on one of... it's on the same... It's on the achievements. 70 gig. Is that common?
I can't be... I guess that's a normal sized game, though. Also, Caleb, sorry if I hijacked your Camp Cretaceous stuff.
We did take a detail from Camp Cretaceous there, didn't we?
You're good. You're good.
I don't know much to stay on Camp Cretaceous, honestly. What is that?
A dinosaur story.
Oh.
I don't know what that is. That We're Back? It's not Land Before Time. Or is it Land Before Time?
That's We're Back. We're Back.
Yeah.
Oh, it's called
Live.
We're Back. There were... somebody found bootleg Jurassic Park VHSs that had... I was looking at them the other day. Have slight extended scenes, they think.
Oh.
Nothing like the T-Rex bashing through the visitor center or whatever. That doesn't exist, right? Do you remember that rumor?
Yeah, I remember that.
I definitely saw it in the cinema. I remember.
Yeah, no. No, you didn't.
It just didn't happen. Could be a Mandela effect, though. Or Mangela?
Mingala.
Mangala. Anyways, I downloaded some pictures. There were these bootleg VHSs, and they were put out by Warner Brothers. It must have been pre-movies release screeners and stuff. But the people who had them were claiming that there were some scenes slightly extended, like a little kind of extended dialogue here and there, things that were trimmed
For Jurassic?
movie. Yeah, for Jurassic Park.
Dude, I've never heard this. I want to see this.
No, I know. I think it's I downloaded the pictures. And they were
Just
saying...
to wrap up, before I forget, I want to say this. Basically, the achievements for Jurassic Park Survival.
Yeah.
If a game's not coming out soon, you're not going to have an achievement unless they even come up or have placeholders. There's no way to have a placeholder. Someone's told this company or site runners, we have these many achievements, this is what they are, hide them until this date, and then you can make them visible or whatever. There's so much gamer scores in each of them. There's so much is total. This is how big our game roughly is. Boom. So that tells me they have enough confidence or
How
enough
big a game?
information to be like, boom, coming out soon.
But how big are games?
70 gigs is like a normal.
Let's see.
normal game.
Expeditions, Mud Runner. That was their latest game.
Call of Duty, Warzone, and all that crap. That's like 100+ gigabytes, and that's like extreme. That's like ridiculous. An average game probably between 50 to 80, I would say.
How do you find the size of a game?
Just type in game size.
I did. It didn't. There's no way.
This is how you know you're getting older as well. It's when you are talking about a topic such as video games. You're like, how do you find the file size on this?
I feel I just realized I'm like my grandma in this scenario right now. I'm like,
I was looking at you. That's how my dad talks usually. When he's like,
where's the
doesn't know how
space bar? I
this
can't.
is going.
No, it's not here. I don't have one.
You see the X in the corner, Grandma? The X. No, I don't.
No,
see
I don't
the
have an
corner,
X in the
Mom.
corner. 20 gig was Expeditions Mud Runner. So if Jurassic Park Survival is 70 gig, then I'm pretty pumped.
Oh, wow.
Pretty pumped because
probably- it's
Mudrunner
probably
is not Mudrunner,
it's a big
Expeditions. They're like off-roading game, but you have these kind of big maps. It's more like on the ground off-roading though in trucks, right? So knowing that if it is 70 gig is true, then they really have made the whole island. I think is safe to assume.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the assets could also be very like big. Like, there's a lot of assets for like trees and leaves and grass and rain and all that stuff. Water effects that can just take.
True.
Up,
Yeah,
I don't
think
know.
it rains in Expeditions.
See exactly. There's a
It
lot
did
of
rain in there
different
in
size.
Mudrunner though. So no, not Mudrunner. Fucking SnowRunner. So they're
Oh.
This
SnowRunner
game
is
made every single type of truck driver.
yeah. They're a
long
driving
hauler,
sim
frickin'
company.
Ice game ever.
You imagine if the first mission is like you start and you're in a car, you just can't get out of the car for like 20 missions or something. You're stuck driving and it's so hard to drive. Have you ever played those games? They're not like driving easy. They're tough driving games. It's like real driving physics.
You gotta put the clutch in.
Yeah, but it's like, most if you've got the wrong tires, you're not getting up that hill. It's that
not
kind of driving.
It's not gonna get that intense, I imagine. But if this
No.
game's first person, it's gonna be like, you're gonna get.
Well,
behind
this
the
is
Jeep.
this is what I mean. I think I said this on the last podcast, but if you can imagine, we're going back to '93, and she gets in a staff-powered Jeep, and you're driving it, but you have to shift the gears, drive on a muddy road that spins you out quite easily, and also get stuck in the mud potentially, because it's not like they had like proper mud
Jack,
tires
you're
on.
freaking genius.
With a
dude.
T-Rex chasing you, come on, man, that's gonna be like a tough game, and
That's
that's
how
gonna
you
feel
make
like
the
an old
game harder. That's how
PS1
you
game,
do it.
like Crash Bandicoot or something, where it's behind you and you have to keep. I feel like that could be fun if they are really going to use their driving like physics in the game.
That's actually
Yeah.
really smart, Jack. I think they probably will. Now that I'm just thinking about it, do you guys remember what the timeline was for the Jurassic World Evolution games from trailer to release? I remember them being like relatively quick. Like,
I don't
less than a
remember.
year
I don't
turnaround, right?
remember.
It's,
I thought it was pretty quick.
It was pretty quick turnaround. So like Jurassic games aren't known of having like this like, for example, Star Wars Eclipse is a game that's coming out who knows when, but the trailer came out like 3 years ago, right? So it's not a situation where it's like, here's a trailer for a game that's eventually going to come out down the road. This is more of a situation where it's like, okay, game is almost at a stage where we can be like, it's going to come out roughly around this time. Put the trailer out, throw a bit of gameplay in there, put it out there, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? It's a situation where they're not overhyping the game. They're just delivering the game they have, if that makes sense. It's like it's ready to go.
I get that for sure,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I
It's not
think
a concept.
the way that they work as well. This company is it's interesting. I think this is one of the bigger properties that they've dealt with, so it will be interesting to see
Absolutely.
how the release is handled, especially with Universal behind it as well, and Amblin having to approve certain things. I'm like you. I think now, because of the takeover and everything, I'm just very keen now to see a gameplay trailer, to see a lot more, or just some gameplay screenshots. Like, I think Rockstar Games are known for not marketing their movies and not overhyping them. They just drop a single trailer and the whole world goes mad. But before their games come out, they release like, here's 5 screenshots in game, never before seen. You've never seen the engine before, And I feel like that would be cool if Saber just dropped some in-screen, just around the island. Maya stood in front of something in a lab,
That'll come
a
out closer
shot
to, like,
of
release
sunset
or
on the
something.
coastline, the East Dock. Just show us a couple, like, give us enough of like, yeah, this game they are reinventing it. The island's looking accurate, enough to. And like a dinosaur maybe in like a natural environment. Show us the Brachiosaurus, for example, like in the trees, head popping up. Just a screenshot in engine.
We never
in-game.
really talked about this, but are you guys happy with the art style of the game? Because it's a little bit cartoony. I was like spending some time looking at like the background foliage and stuff. It kind of looks like the Telltale game a little bit in style. What I mean by that is it's not going to be like one of those Far Cry games where like it's trying to be closer to real life. Like, this game has a distinct style, and everything's going to be a little bit stylized.
I didn't get that.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I
definitely
know what
got
you're
that.
saying. I think it's more that they have the issue that I think the Far Cry games almost have, where it seems like a layer of gloss over everything, as opposed to
Sure.
real texture. If it's really hard to sakes, I
It's hard to
know
put it into
very
words what I'm trying to
little
say.
about game development, but I felt like with the Far Cry games, as much as I enjoyed them, they always felt like they had this like glass over every texture. There was this glossy that made it not feel real, right? Whereas I think Saber have similar issues if I'm like driving around in SnowRunner, it can be gorgeous, that game. Really, truly, like they've got a great skybox. I think they're using a skybox. They have really nice sunsets and weather. They have really nice rain mechanics. But sometimes you just catch a wrong angle and you're like, yeah, this is a video game. This is straight up game. Polished,
The
like
immersion's broken.
shiny game, and the textures are just video game textures. And I think it's just more a case of they aren't Rockstar games. They're in the middle somewhere, maybe. I don't know. Like, it's not the most gorgeous games in the world, but again, I would encourage you to just maybe look at some screenshots from SnowRunner, like SnowRunner Sunset and stuff.
Jack, I love the fact that you keep going back to the SnowRunner.
It's the only reference I have for Saber. Like, I don't know anything else.
Canadian in you. That's the Canadian in you seeping through finally.
I just want to move some logs.
Snow. They like log haulers. They like driving 20 kilometers down the road to get to the next store. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Takes 20 minutes to drive up one tiny hill. It's like, yeah, I gotta use the winch. That's the thing as well, the winch. You have to use the winch so much in that game to get your Jeep out of mud. There's no way they're not going to do that. You're going to be in the car for sure. You're going to be in the gas-powered Jeep. You're going to have to use the winch. You're going to have to Nedry it.
Right?
You're going to be in the
Nedry.
Eddy car using the winch.
Yeah. You're going to be running with the winch. You're going to have to get the Jeep out of something. I feel like there's no way they wouldn't. They've already have those mechanics.
This is like what Telltale games... This is like what I wanted the Telltale game to be. You know what I mean?
don't understand people that like that game. I don't get it.
We're not here to talk. We're not here to like bash anyone. But I'm just saying.
Oh, I am.
When the pre-images started coming out of like the dock and stuff like that, I was like, oh, this is the perfect tone. And then the game hits, just completely missed the tone.
The game has, like, if you watch the game on YouTube as just the cinematics,
yes,
that's fine. That's actually quite good. But the game is a point-and-click adventure with just odd choices, I think.
Not even that. The fact that you're playing as Dr. Sorkin and Jerry Harding in this hallway sequence, and the two characters are arguing between something, but you're playing both sides of the arguing. So I'm like, I'm arguing with myself about a position that I don't really care about. It was the worst gameplay I've ever seen.
It's the poor man's L.A. Noir.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Doubt. Man, that would be... Yeah, no, I don't know. But I think that with Saber, I don't know anything. I haven't played anything else they've made, so all I can say is that I hope that Maya gets to drive the Jeep, because I think that'd be fun. And the freedom as well, the open world. I want it to be fully open, whereas like you're not always in a mission or something, so you can just... I just want to drive. I've spent days just driving around the island, you know?
So, none of you guys have ever done the VR Jurassic World game, right?
Mm-mm.
We did that one at Dave and Buster's when we went for Josh and Jen's wedding. We went to Dave and Buster's and there was that.
It's not that one. It's like the one that came out on like the Oculus and stuff. Like, dude, I'm telling you, if they can make that art style work, I can believe any Jurassic game will, I guess, work at the end of the day, regardless of what art style. Because when you put that thing on and you like see the T-Rex and like see how freaking big it is, you forget like, oh, it's like it has like a pointy nose because it's like weirdly drawn or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but is that the kind of game you want to play? A VR game where you're like looking up at T-Rexes and stuff? Or...
I'm saying it's going to be like that. This game is going to give you an open area, but it's not going to give you an open island. It's going to give you an open, maybe, visitor center to go in. Like, you can go anywhere you want within the visitor center, but you can't go like outside the visitor center.
I don't want that.
That'd be annoying.
I want free roam. And if they handle it like you can't see the borders, but you do have to transition to the northern sector of the island or something, fine. But I don't want it to be like enter the visitor center with a loading screen, you know, like fuck that, man. Come on.
Yeah.
We're past that. We are well past that.
I think that it's just the reality of what Saber as a developer is. Like, they only have so many resources, and they're also split with their fact that they're also taking on Knights of the Old Republic now. So they are also most likely, like, they're at like 100% of what I'm trying to say. Like, Jurassic World is not like their main game.
Yeah, but you seem to think that they are quite far along with it, so maybe all of that major dev work is already done.
Exactly. So what I was trying to say earlier was like when the game was, it's not a concept. There's like they've had engineers, they've had developers on the keyboard developing this game for months, and now those developers have probably transitioned over to Knights of the Old Republic because that's going to be the biggest thing they've ever done, and it's probably going to be the game that like probably launches that studio into like the Rockstar, the Ubisoft, or the like whoever makes the Assassin's Creed games and stuff, like that echelon of developer. Right now, they're like you said, they're in like that little lower, I guess, double A developer.
They're
So
looking for their big
we
hit,
can't
I
expect
think.
it.
Yeah.
They're looking for their AAA.
We can't expect an open world yet. We'll get there one day, but not with this game, I think.
But then this could be their first open world. You know, it could be what they're banking
You could
everything
just
on.
be like, slap me in the
maybe.
face. I'm stupid.
Yeah. Well, I feel like if they're making the game, if they've been listening to the demands, then it will be open world because that's what the demands coincide with. Oh, we want an open world survival game. I don't think people have just been saying survival. I think most people have been saying open world.
So
Meaning
isolation.
you just want a bit of free roam. Like we don't want to be
Yeah.
like you wake up with mission one. Like you want it to be a little bit like Trespasser, you know, where it's like you are free roaming it, but you're discovering and entering missions, quests on the way. Quests.
So
Quests.
this game,
Side
I think
quests.
Find the
This
Nublar
game
wizard.
is gonna be a clone of Alien Isolation, and if you guys remember that, yes, you have an open area, but there are loading screens, like for sure. Like get in the elevator to go to the next part of the ship. That's like
Yeah.
the loading screen. That's gonna be like exit the visitor center to go to, I don't know, like the jungle in front of like that little pond area. That's
mean,
gonna be a loading screen.
I get what you're saying. I think it would be more like I would take it more like I would expect to be able to run out through. I mean, in the trailer, she runs through the visitor center doors, so I expect to be able to do the same thing, right? The visitor center doors are left open. It's an open world. It should be an open world environment. But if, for example, you go to the bunker that Ellie goes to, you open the door and you close the door, and it quickly. I get a loading screen there. Fine, that makes sense, right? Because you close
Yeah.
the door and it's like dark for a second. Fine. Things like that make sense, but I just feel like nowadays it'd be so weird, like going the visitor center door is just wide open, it's left open, you know, and then it's like loading screen. It wouldn't make any sense. It would be. I feel like that would be lazy.
Well, that's like the majority of Baldur's Gate 3. It's just open, you run around. There's a lot of doors you can open because I mean it's D&D, so you have to unlock a lot of things. And there's still loading screens, but it's like a transition place where you're already going to be transitioning, not just every time you open a door.
Yeah. I think there's good ways to handle it. One thing, Assis, one question:
Absolutely.
game development. At which stage do they hire game testers?
So QA usually happens at towards the back half of the game development. So you have to have a product to test, right? So in order to find bugs and stuff like that, they have to have like the entire polished section. So you'd have to have a game in a finished enough state where someone can sit down with a controller in their hand, being able to run a level.
How
however many
soon
times.
from like release would how soon
At
back?
the end? So like it depends. It depends on the studio how much QA testing you do. So that games release buggy, right? Because they don't do much of this anymore. So it's one of the last things you do before you ship out a game. So it's got to be like months, couple months.
So if we keep watch on Saber's careers page and
yeah, keep looking
other
for
other
QA
like
testers.
websites like Indeed, when they start hiring like QAs and other roles, maybe in like sometimes, cause I think this is how people find out like the information about GTA is like Rockstar. Oh, they're hiring a publicity
Yeah, pretty
artist,
much.
or like a
yeah.
trailer designer, and it's like, oh, I wonder what they're doing. You know, I think maybe the same will happen with Saber. Maybe we'll get like
That's exactly what's going to happen. And
we're
LinkedIn,
hiring
like
for somebody
from
to
earlier,
make.
LinkedIn.
Yeah. We'll
So
have
we
to
gotta
take
we gotta pay attention to their careers page and get the jobs.
it.
We have to go. Yeah,
We
have
will
to get
beta
someone on the
test for
inside.
you.
Hey,
Yeah.
we got invited. We got to play with a number of other creators. Evolution, the first Evolution. We got to play that in
Oh, yeah.
Frontier's office. Me and Alex went, I think.
Oh, that's right.
With Tom, James, bunch of other Jurassic people there. I'm hoping
Beaver
Saber do
James.
the same. I'm hoping Saber are very because so far, I mean, there's no like negativity or anything, but there's no like interaction because the game's so early. Be really interesting to see how they interact with the community and like how that kind of happens, because I'm imagining it's going to be the kind of game that gets a special edition release. You know, it comes with a Barbasol can or something. I don't know. You
Probably not if it's going to be digital only.
Yeah, true. There'll be a collector's edition.
Depends, yeah.
I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 came out with their physical edition many months after, right? Yeah, so it could
And they
be
had
possible.
a few special like PR things ahead
Exactly,
of time,
right.
but yeah.
I don't think
One
Alan
thing
Wake
Jurassic
2 has
the
done
game-
any physical yet.
The Telltale game, they did a cool fan release, had loads of InGen documents in and stuff. I think map of the island.
Oh,
Yep, I remember them giving a shout out. I remember the video they did for the describing everything. I'm looking now. It's like Terry from JP Legacy. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Shout out to Terry from JP Legacy, number one fan.
I think
Hey,
they helped with the game, didn't they? They helped with.
They did. Yeah.
Some of their encyclopedia.
I wonder where Terry is these days.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask you guys. You can now wishlist Jurassic Park Survival on the platform of your choice. Which platform would you go for? And how-
Steam.
it's like we're getting a live Jurassic Outpost video right now.
So,
I'd say Steam also.
so you're PC gamers. PC
I'm going
Master
PlayStation.
Race or whatever.
No. I'm playing on my PlayStation. I like sitting down on my couch and after work
Yeah.
with the girls beside me, the two cats.
Yeah, that's it, man. I do not have a PlayStation 5, but I will be getting one for this game, especially if it's released this year, because it's not being released on PS4. So that's a shame. Well, it's not really a shame. It's such an old console
You're
now.
gonna get GTA. You're gonna play GTA 6 anyways. You're gonna get the console eventually.
Yeah, for sure. I think again, this is something we said in the last pod, but it would be cool if they released the PlayStation 5 Pro in Jurassic Park Survival colors or something. Like a
I'm never
special.
gonna forgive Frontier for doing this. They released only, I think, one or two of the
The
Jurassic
Evolution.
World Xbox consoles, like the ones
Yeah.
that were like with the scratches on them. I was like,
Yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah.
There
would've
were
bought
quite a
it
few
tomorrow.
Xbox tie-ins at the time. I think was it 360? Was it still the 360?
it was the Xbox One, I think, one of the smaller
Oh, yeah.
ones.
Xbox One. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait.
not
What's
even
it
the
now?
Series X. It was
Series-
like the last generation.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see though if you see like in stores, if they still have stores with consoles in, seeing a console that has Jurassic Park Survival on it, like the PS5
That's
Pro,
the
and
dream.
then Jurassic Park on the side.
Decorate it like the Explorer.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
As we head towards the end of this podcast, any final Jurassic thoughts from you guys?
In for Dev Patel. Out
Same.
for in for Nicholas Holt. Out for the Chris's and the Glens. Just more like we don't. I personally just give me an everyman kind of thing. Like give me the everyman, right? Give me the everyman. Looking for a problem, found you, didn't I? Yeah, give me them. You know, give me Dieter Stark.
My point is that predators don't hunt when they're not hungry.
Oh,
Saddle up.
Watch it now.
Well, I'll give my last Jurassic thought is, I'm so happy that David kept going to give us more of that little in-between dialogue. You know what I mean? A little bit more of this. Can't wait to hear you guys recite that stuff to me.
That's the thing. That's the thing. The chemistry that he brings between characters, even small characters, even the people in the. This is the SS Venture. You know, you are a flank speech. Just the dialogue in that and the tension in that room, when they're waiting for the boat. I don't know. Just every
It's
line.
like normal people
Absolutely.
speaking. It's
Yeah.
going to be refreshing to get that, and not just like weird exposition. Like I don't know. I never liked the way they talked in Jurassic World.
It doesn't feel real. Yeah, it feels quite just like a lot of movies. It feels like these days where it's more like expositional dialogue and it just doesn't feel real.
It doesn't feel like
Yeah.
real. Like, dude, I'm gonna
No,
watch
people-
Lost Boys after this. It's decided. I'm done. I can't wait. Great movie.
Samantha, any final Jurassic thoughts?
Dev Patel. That's all.
Okay.
If he's not cast, I'm gonna be upset. No, but also I was thinking Camp Cretaceous, the one one positive thing. No, when WonderCon happened a couple weeks ago, there were cosplayers of
yeah.
Ben and Darius, and they had a huge crocheted Bumpy.
It was so cool.
Like
Oh,
an
cool.
actual, like, when when Bumpy is the smallest size, but this like huge crocheted thing, and they were carrying it around. Somebody got a picture of him, put it on Twitter, but we were not able to find who they are. So if you're listening, your cosplays were awesome. Let us know who you are.
Yes.
We want to give you a shout out because
Yeah.
that Bumpy was awesome. The
I
person
need
who
to
took
see
the
that.
picture like saw the Bumpy like through the crowd because they had to carry it over their heads.
Oh wow! It's kind of. I mean, I guess it's not niche, but it's kind of niche, isn't it? To do a Camp Cretaceous, like.
I
much
haven't.
so.
I don't think I've
Cosplay.
seen any.
No.
So,
That's fandom. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no. I was
but
pretty
who are
impressed.
they?
I'm,
Start
uh,
stalking and find out. Get the Outpost. Whoever's doing the Instagram stalking for this.
Yeah.
Jurassic World crew. Find these people.
I'm a skinny white dude, so I could cosplay Ben and borrow the crocheted Bumpy. So
Which Ben though?
maybe like partially grown up Ben with longer hair and
Have to do the
taking
shot.
care of Bumpy with that scientist lady. So
Oh yeah, what's her name? Dr.
May Turner.
May Turner.
Yeah.
She gets mauled by a raptor. That's wild.
She
Unfortunately.
well, she's part of the Fever Dream, so she doesn't technically exist. So it's all right.
So thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the InGeneral podcast, episode 118. Be sure to check out JurassicOutpost.com. Check out Jurassic Outpost on YouTube for all the latest news and videos and all that good shit. So yeah, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks
Bye.
everybody for listening. Head to jw.org for lots more information.